You're now listening to the Jazz and Whip FPL Snip, covering all of the English Premier League happenings of the weekend.
Do not scratch your eyes. You are really seeing the most extraordinary finish here.
All right, boys, we're back again. Another fucking week. Game week 11, heading towards that fucking game week 12. That's dreading everyone. How are you, Whip? How's this week been?
Look, man, I'm good. I'm touch wood. I'm in a little bit of form at FPL at the moment, which is good. I've started to pick up, but the bad thing is everyone's got the same team, so everyone's getting the same points. But
yeah, I was going to say, it's been a good few weeks for me, actually. I'm doing quite well on the table. I've had green arrows for the last few weeks, up to 5th. So we're just going to catch fucking Mark somehow, man. That dude, I tell you, I was talking to him earlier in the week, and he goes, all I've been trying to get is a shout out from you guys on the podcast. So shout out to Mark, because I have no idea how the fuck you zoomed to fucking 30 odd points ahead of me. Considering we got like 3 points different for the whole week. So
I keep saying marathon, not a sprint, but we're quickly coming up to a third of the way through the season, and I'm still not.
There's I'm looking at the table, and there's a few people like key guys missing from like years before. Danny down the bottom there won league and came, I think, 3rd last year. No one there. Reece Cole gone. Escort gone.
Probably all above me.
Nah, they're dead last, man. Fucking Corey's like mid-table. Like, Corey's above you somehow. So
I'm coming back.
But yeah, so shout out to Mark. Good week. Good few weeks, actually. You've had, 79 and 90 and then 72. So it's a pretty solid 3 weeks in a row. So, well done. This week, I thought we could touch on some players to buy because it is a fucking clusterfuck at this week.
Next couple of weeks, really.
Yeah, with injuries fucking up a lot of defences, teams not performing like Liverpool, things just south. No one can keep a clean sheet, so all the goalkeepers are fucked. So there's just a lot of shit going on, and then obviously game week 12 is a bit of a dreaded one. So I thought I'd throw in a couple of little infographics to highlight players that I think, anyway, I don't know if you agree or not, but players that are a little bit different. Not the same cookie cutter, Cancelos and Trippiers and those kind of guys, but other guys to buy. Let's start with defence. What do you think, Whit? I've got Max Kilman in first, Vicente Guaita, because I think this is a good time to change up your goalkeeper. Because if you're like me, you don't really need to make a few changes until game week 12, and Danny Ward's a bit wank. So I might look at changing a keeper. And then Aaron Creswell in a 3rd place. Thoughts on any of them?
I think they're good calls. So Wolves actually have a decent run defensively. They either lose or draw 0-0. So they're not a bad team to bank on. I was looking at Max Kilman myself or Johnny. They're both good options from Wolves. So I don't mind that at all. Cresswell's had been annoying me for the last 6 weeks because I've got Emerson. So he's just become a bench dweller for me because he never plays because Cresswell for some reason is still not for some reason, he's obviously decent, but
first choice.
He's a bit. Is he a bit pricey? Is he 5 mil?
Let me bring him up. He is 4.8, so he's pretty cheap.
Not terrible, you know what I mean? With Reece James going down injured, who knows how long he's going to be out for? It brings an opportunity to do that. Guaita's definitely been on the radar for a lot of people. The only reason why I'm sketchy to go with him is because I've got Zaha, and I don't really like a double up of Palace because I feel like they either do one or the other. They have a good defensive performance or a good attacking performance, and I don't want to bank on both of them being good.
Yeah. Granted, I'm pointing out Palace have only had 1 clean sheet all year. But their fixtures are turning quite well. Leicester, Wolves, Everton, 3 teams that can't score at the moment, other than Madison scoring for Leicester. So you've probably got 2 out of 3, my thoughts anyway, 2 out of 3 clean sheets in there. And, you've got Sanchez that a lot of people have. So he's obviously a clear choice, but then he comes up against City in 13. So it's a good little rotation.
I've got Nick Pope and Raya, so...
Yeah, which have both been frustrating as shit, I bet, right?
Yes and no, but it's Newcastle are playing so well, but they're just leaking easy goals. And because I've had a double up of Newcastle in defence this week, I'm not starting Pope against United. I have to start Trippier, but I think someone else I want to talk about in the defenders, just people I want to talk about. do you pick another Chelsea defender? Because obviously Reece James won't play this weekend. He will not play against Villa. Do you? But obviously it doesn't really change much because I'll probably chuck Loftus-Cheek for some reason at right wing back. But I don't know if I want to go for either Cucurella or Chilwell. It's really hard to pick because at the moment it looks like Chilwell is starting Champions League games and Cucurella's got the Premier League games.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of talk about Cucurella coming in. The problem is he doesn't I think he's got 2 assists? Yeah, he's got 2 assists. He doesn't do a lot going forward. And with Reece James out, are they going to lean on Chilwell more than him? Does that make sense?
I was thinking about though because so they'll play Azpilicueta maybe at right back or right wing back. So they need someone to do it the other way. Does that make sense? And I think
they're doing the same attacking output, but just in reverse on the left side rather than the right.
Yeah, but I was looking at Thiago Silva as well, just because if you're gonna, Chelsea are hitting some decent form under Potter. They're looking more solid defensively now, I think. And Thiago Silva has started every single Premier League game. So that was an option for me, but I'm really leaning towards Chilwell. I think even if he starts on the bench, if he gets 20 minutes, we've seen what he can do against shit sides. So I think Chilwell is another one to look for this weekend. And if he doesn't, there's a very good chance he doesn't start. So it is still a risk, especially leading into the next week. You'd hope to have people starting consistently, but yeah.
The only scary part for doubling up on Chelsea for me is after these 2, so they've got Villa and Brentford, they go into a 4-game run of probably conceding. Man U, Brighton, Arsenal, Newcastle. So that's 4. And if you've got 2 Chelsea guys, that's pretty rough.
I would be putting in two Chelsea guys. Be one or the other. Be still.
Yeah. Maybe swapping James for one of them is a viable option. But even then, I don't know. I'd probably, if I'm swapping out James because that Dorito is going to fucking scare the shit out of me, I'm probably going to take a punt on someone like Kilman or Matt or Creswell, somewhere that's not very owned and out of the way. So I think everybody's going to jump off James and straight on the Chilwell. If that makes sense.
What's your situation with City and Arsenal players? Because I've got 4 City and I've got 3 City, 1 Arsenal players. So at the moment, I have to
I've got 3 and 2 at the moment.
Because so you have to take a negative either this week or next week, realistically.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I've got a move plan for next week, taking De Bruyne out, but that means I still have 3 players. I still have to field players that are on my bench and they're not good. So I'm having to make it's all well and good to say that Haaland, Cancelo, and Martinelli will take up my bench options, but then I'll have to play Nico Williams, Emerson, and Leon Bailey. So I think Reece James getting injured is probably causing other people a lot of headaches. And I don't know if people are considering actually how bad a week they could have in week 12 if they're having to play all 3 their £4 million pound.
Well, I'm looking at my back line now. Now you mentioned it. With Reece James out, I'll have just Trippier play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cancelo, James, Kennedy, who's on the bench anyway, Fodder and Saliba. So all 4 of them don't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a bit of trouble. I see what you're saying.
I have to take back-to-back negatives. I took a negative last week and it paid off. I think -4s are fine because you don't really notice them. In a
game week like this, where you're playing 4 dudes on the bench that are scoring 0 points, and negative is worth it because they're going to score 0 anyway.
I took -4 last week to bring in Solanke and someone else. And the 2 people that I took out didn't play. So Mitrovic didn't play. So I had Solanke and Tony up front. So that really works. So if you can get it to work, then
Well, in saying that, let's jump to the midfield then. I've got 3 midfielders here, 2 of which are pretty hot topic, one of which is a bit of an outsider. Trossard, Zaha, and then Billing. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Zaha is probably the player to own at the moment, right up until after the World Cup. His fixture's just too good to pass up. I mean, he's 7 point something mil. He's guaranteed to be on penalties every week. I mean, he might not score every week, but he'll also do what he did on the weekend and get a shitty assist. You know what I mean? So I think he's a great. He
goes in bursts too. So he's 4 goals, 1 assist. He's only had 1 assist in the last 3 games, but that's what he does. He goes ghosts and then just comes back with a bang, goes mental and then ghosts.
you have to accept that you're going to have to be a bit patient, because at the end of the day, he still does play for Crystal Palace. So they will have periods where they won't be able to do anything for 3 games, and then they'll put out performances and Zaha will be right amongst it. But yeah, with Trossard, I think we've kind of just talked a lot about him already on these, and I think he's Brighton's main man at the moment, so he could be a good asset at his price. And Billings is a surprising one, because I'd say you're kidding yourself, but he's scoring consistently. So it's
It's him and Solanke. You mentioned Solanke before. Solanke seems to be doing the grunt work, and Billings seems to be getting the ball fall into it.
Yeah.
So if something's happening, it's those two, if that makes sense. So
they've also
at 5.3 mil and owned by basically no one, that is not a bad little shout to bring in for game week 12.
Right.
So,
well, he's a midfield option. He's very cheap for Bournemouth, and he's performing as well. I think he probably occupies a lot more attacking areas than Billing. I think Billing is just
who's that? Mister? Who'd you say?
Ryan Christie.
Christie, yeah. Yeah, he's only got 1 goal last week though.
I think his first name's Ryan, but I don't know. I don't think Billings occupies that much space going forward. He just makes those late Gundogan-esque runs into the box and just So I think those.
Yeah. Well, they've got Southampton in game week 12, so that's kind of where I'm leaning. Southampton aren't great. They don't defend very well. It's going to be a bit of a shit chaos game, and I need a guy to play. I might be pulling in him because, although Solanke's quite cheap, 5.7, still only 1 goal, 3 assists. So he's been outscored by Billing this season, 38 points to 29 points. Yeah, so,
I think this is a good part of the season, because we're going to see where 11 games in, we've obviously missed a couple of games because of the Queen and stuff, but and the World Cup is coming up, so we're going to miss more. We're going to miss like 12 weeks again, but maybe not that much. It's like 6 weeks. But yeah, it's really where teams are starting to differ a lot, and it's
this is where you start taking a bit of a punt, a bit of a chance on things. Because if you can do it right, like Max Billing, nobody owns him. Bring him in. He scored, like I said, 3 goals in the last 4 games. So he scored a goal a game. And it's literally been like goal, blank goal. So he comes in, game week 12, nobody has him. He bangs in some goals. That's a 20-point gap that you kind of can make up, because people have taken a negative to try to fix their team. So,
what I've been saying though, so I've been right at the bottom dweller. So I was like 27th, and I was saying, like, even if you're around where I am, you're doing that bad, just keep at it, because now I've had 3 consistent weeks in a row, and I've climbed like 10 spots. So I've climbed like 3.5 spots a week. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So now I'm 80 points behind Mark, who's first, and I'm in 17th. So the gap isn't that big. It's a very competitive league we've got. So that's what I'm saying. If you're low, like, you're watching these videos, you're coming up with your own team. This is where it really starts. This is where guys like Reece Cole in previous years have gone from 17th to top 5, because they just start doing ridiculous things that come off. And if they don't, well, you're playing for money anyway. You may as well die trying.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the forward line. So obviously everybody's got Haaland. Everybody's going to be scrambling in game week 12 to get rid of Haaland, or at least bench Haaland. Jesus is a pretty obvious choice. He's been really good this year. But I thought, I'm looking at West Ham, and their fixtures are turning, and they're starting to play a bit better, and they're starting to get shit together. And that Skamaka, he seems to be starting to figure out how to work with his team. Chelsea, obviously, this week, so it makes it a bit of a rough starting point. But if you're like me, I've got Kane, Haaland this weekend, and then I'll be looking. I had Martial up front, so he's out now, because that's what he does. He comes in, does good, and then gets fucking injured and disappears. So
he looked so good in that first bit against Everton too, man.
Yeah, so brilliant, helpful. Thanks, Martial. I'll bring a negative in, covers the negative at least, and then I have to fucking shift him back out instantly.
Yeah, we got you an assist while he was on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. So he did well there, but now I'll be looking. I might actually look to swap him out for Skamaka and take a bit of, like I said, a bit of a punt, because game week 12 is not too bad.
No, I like it. Skamaka's a good shout. And you also had Jesus in there as a player to buy. Didn't he almost die the other day?
He passed out. Oh no, I think he got clipped in the Liverpool game by, who was it? someone like hit him with his elbow as they went past, and it looked really bad, but I think he just went down and kind of played on it a little more than he needed to.
Yeah,
so
I'm this deep now. I have to go with it.
Yeah, like it wasn't a nice hit, let's put it that way. But yeah,
I don't travel with Arsenal's squad for the Europa League, so it's interesting. I think he's obviously still a goated option. I think we're almost disrespecting guys like him, Harry Kane. Who's the other one that's had a really good start to the season? Someone who I'm not going to say yet because I'm about to mention. Like those guys having great seasons in the Premier League, but Haaland scoring like at a ridiculous rate that overshadows him. Guy that I'm going to throw to you, Bobby Firmino. He has been your best player this year.
But that's not a testament. If there's a shout that I'll recommend for Liverpool, it's fucking going for Salah this week.
Oh well, he did just score a hat trick, and
he scored a hat trick. He was smiling because the last few weeks has been a problem. He hasn't been happy. You can see in his face. You know when things just aren't working and you just can't make it work. Last night he comes on and it worked, and you can see he's going to take that confidence into the City game, and maybe like I'm not going to tout to here, but I've actually got a good feeling about this City game. We're going to give him a run, and I can see him doing quite well when that front four is going to do quite well.
They were firing during that 15-minute period against Rangers and scored. Yeah. Like Nunez is looking good.
He's getting there. The problem is it's stability around him. That's the issue.
Yeah, with Diaz out now, it sort of gives more of an opportunity for.
Well, everybody kind of gets pushed to their natural positions. You'll have Darwin down the middle. You'll have Firmino probably behind him as like a false 9-10 spot. And then you've got Jota and Salah either side. And that's kind of where everybody fits well. And if we play everybody fitting well, because we were trying to wedge Jota into a spot that wasn't quite his spot because Diaz was out left. And that's kind of Jota's spot.
Do you think he's better on the left than he does through the middle?
Jota, yeah, he's much better because he's a much better ball player. He's not as quick and dynamic as Diaz. Diaz is much more aggressive.
I think Diaz has been working his ass off though hard this season.
100%. But I think Jota's different. He's like Bobby and Darwin. They do different things. Same spots, take up the same zones, but they do different ways of doing things. And I think the reason Firmino's been doing so well is just the other guy heading into the box, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And
it's not like a 10, like a natural 10 heading into the box where their finishing is a bit wayward. Bobby is an actual striker turning. Right. So
I'm definitely looking to bring Salah in for De Bruyne in game week 12. And De Bruyne probably won't come back into my team, but I'm going to get another City asset in because they play like Leicester or someone. So I'll just swap Maddison out for who I'm going to go with. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Last thing I'll mention, I will be leaning on Liverpool against City this weekend.
Is that that's your big call of the week?
That's my big call of the week. I can see after the weekend's performance, we've got nothing to lose, really. We have to go out there and try to win this game. It is at home. They won't want to lose. Van Dijk still hasn't lost at home, by the way, in the Prem. So this could be the end of that run. We're playing with a makeshift team as it is. What do we got to lose? We just bang 7 in against Rangers. We go out there, we try. If we lose this, my top 6 position, where I said we're not going to make top 4, is well and truly on. So I think this is going to be one of those games where it's like 3-2, 4-2 or something like that. Something dumb. There'll be goals everywhere.
Well, they're up against City usually, so we did love. What's my big call for the week? I don't really know who's like what games are on. If that makes sense. Like,
well, you got Arsenal at Leeds. You got Kane playing at Everton.
Who are Arsenal playing?
Leeds. They got Leeds this weekend. Brighton have a good game against Brentford. That's going to be a fun one.
Who's playing? Who are Spurs playing?
Everton.
This is my big call. You ready? Everton won't lose to Spurs. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but Everton are looking good at the moment. That midfield 3 of Onana, Adrisaganagay, and Olobi it's good, and it's good to watch. And I think Lampard's finally got a side that's working, and I don't think they'll go down anymore. I think they're still fucked, but they're not going to go down.
Yeah.
They need a striker because Maupay is probably not it. But that's my big call.
Everton, I'll call another big thing. I'm going to call a hat trick for Aubameyang this weekend.
He's on fire at the moment, isn't he? He could be a good option in the future, but he's just a bit too expensive for my liking.
Still too expensive, not worth bringing in. But they got Villa this weekend, who are in big trouble. I think the Chelsea show is going to come on. They're going to have a bit of a fun time. So, yeah.
Right.
Now, hopefully that gives everybody a couple of guys to look at that are a bit different. Maybe we can get out of this cookie card thing. Maybe Brett stops fucking copying everyone. So, but yeah, all right, good chat, my friend. I will see you this weekend.
Laters.
Later, boy.